Welcome to the 5th Travel and Hospitality Expo by Plug and Play. Pleasure to have you here. And our apologies for having to change the venue last minute, but we ran into a problem with the city of Sunnyvale in terms of the capacity we have for our event center, which is actually a great problem to have. But really wanted to thank our events team for pulling this together within 2 weeks, really moving the venue from Sunnyvale to Palo Alto. It was a lot of work, and as you can see, things are working out so far. So wanted to thank our events team. Let's hear it for them, if you will. Also wanted to thank all of our guests who have flown from all around the world. We have people from Asia, Europe, Latin America here. Really appreciate you guys making the trip. I heard the lanes in SFO were extremely long this week. So if anybody wants to have a talk with the CIO of SFO, he's sitting in the front here. Ian Law, you can let him know what you thought. But apparently this is normal for San Francisco during this time of the year. Very excited to have you here. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Amir. I'm one of the people who oversees the travel and hospitality program at Plug and Play, which we launched about 2.5 years ago. And it's been a very, very interesting journey. I'm not going to take too much of your time today talking about the travel program. I think most of you are familiar with it. But just a couple of updates on our side. Sorry. Technical problems in a new venue. On the investment front, that's something that we've always been laser focused on. I'm happy to say that the ecosystem we've built out is actually helping us make better investment decisions, and all of that has to do with all the feedback we get from our corporate partners in terms of the use cases they put in front of us. So what you're looking at here is essentially the startups that we have funded. The ones that have a red box around them are the travel and hospitality specific investments we've made since 2016 when we launched the program. And the ones in the yellow boxes are the ones that we've actually committed some capital to since the beginning of this year. And the startups that don't have a box around them are startups that Plug and Play had invested money into prior to launching the travel and hospitality program. And you do see a box there with a question mark. That's actually a startup that we're hoping to invest in. And we haven't announced it yet, but I can tell you that they are presenting today. We're very excited about that. This program would not be possible with the help of our corporate partners. We're up to about 20 corporate partners for the travel and hospitality program. And the new partners that recently joined us are the ones that have been are outlined here in the yellow boxes. So Trivago, I wanted to welcome you guys. You guys have been phenomenal in the past few months in terms of talking to startups, showing up to the events, pilots, POCs, and there's talks of a commercial deal as well, which we're very excited about. Yotel on the hospitality front, they could not be here today, unfortunately, but we're very happy to have those guys join. If you guys don't know about Yotel, they are not a huge hotel brand, but they're extremely innovative with roughly 20 hotels around the world. OAG, I think it's your second expo, but your first expo as an official partner. We're very excited to have you guys on board as well. And last but not least, Singapore Airlines, one of the best airlines in the world, and we've engaged with them over the past 3 months. Very happy to have George Bank here, their CIO, and Manfai as well. Thank you for joining us today. A little bit about the team. So as you guys know, we've had a little bit of reshuffling on the travel side, which has been actually quite positive for us. Actually, this is the slide that I'm most excited about today. As you guys know, Saeed is our CEO. He was instrumental in launching the travel program back in 2016. I'm Amir. Mr. Leo Chen, our managing director, joined us about 3 months ago, not knowing what he's getting himself into. I had the pleasure of working with Leo in my previous life at Nor One. Leo actually spent about 8 years there. He has a hospitality background. And ultimately, he was overseeing the gaming practice for Nor1, which he grew by tenfold. So all the casinos on the Vegas Strip, he was able to actually engage them and bring them on the Nor1 platform. And I learned a lot from Leo during my tenure at Nor1. Ali is our venture principal. Jordan Bray, you're going to be seeing him on stage shortly. He's your MC for the first half of the startup presentations. Anna Kloot, our program manager, unbelievable member of the team. She's the glue that keeps the startups and the corporate partners happy during the accelerator program to make sure everything is running smoothly. Marcelo is our new venture associate. So if you guys remember, we had a colleague by the name of Kevin Wang, who was our venture associate. Kevin is moving on to bigger and better things by joining a startup. So Marcelo is his replacement. So we're very excited to have him on board. Last but not least, Clara, who's our summer intern, and she's blown our expectations out of the water. She's unbelievable. Unfortunately, we cannot hire her right now. She has 1 more year of college left at Babson, but if we could, we would have made her an offer within a week. So she's going to be actually emceeing the second half of the startup presentations. A little bit about the accelerator program. So as I said in the beginning, we're on our batch 5. So all in all, we've accelerated roughly about 100 startups in the travel industry. Our batch 6 starts later this summer. And these accelerator programs really serve 2 purposes. Number 1, it helps our corporate partners see high-level innovations in the travel and hospitality industry that everybody should be taking advantage of. Today, those focus areas include artificial intelligence, natural language processing, machine learning, augmented reality, virtual reality. And these are innovations that we feel everybody in the travel industry could take advantage of. And what we've done over the, I would say, past 2.5 years, we've become extremely stage agnostic with these accelerator programs as far as the startups are concerned. Meaning today, you're going to hear from startups that have raised in excess of $50 million. And you also have startups that have raised maybe $1 million, but they're working on something disruptive. With that, I would like to ask Leo to come on stage and introduce himself, and he will walk you through a couple of more slides and give a quick background on himself. Thank you so much.
So good morning, everybody. My name is Leo Chen. It is truly an honor and pleasure to be part of the Plug and Play team and be here with all of the startups, the corporate partners, the VCs, as well as the media. I'm a fellow Purdue grad with a master in social science and hospitality management. As with any hospitality students, you gotta have a story about how you started your career at a hotel. So for me, I started bartending at a cigar lounge at a JW Marriott hotel in Shanghai, but eventually found my way to the startup world and spent the last 11 years there. My first startup is a company called Nor1, as Amir said earlier. I was one of their founding team members, and the company is actually a portfolio company for both Plug and Play as well as Thayer Ventures. After that, I also got the pleasure of co-founding a software as service hospitality company for the last 2.5 years. And as a side effect, I became a frequent flyer for multiple airlines, just like many of the startups here. I was able to be one of those crazy people that put in 12, 16, and sometimes 20 hours a day working on something that I was truly passionate and excited about. Between me and my co-founders, we fought over a lot of things. But one thing that we just cannot get enough with is the notion of which matters more to a startup: the end result or the journey that you and your team take together. And I'm sure all of the founders and CEOs in this room have their own answers. Speaking of which, on the previous slide that Amir showed you earlier, I got a chance to review with a more unbiased perspective And what I noticed across the 5 batches over the last 2.5 years is that the technologies are constantly changing in a very fascinating way. However, there's one thing that is held constant across all of those 95 startups. That is the passion, dedication, and the chemistry of the founding team behind every single one of those startups. And for today, we're here featuring and celebrating for all of those startups coming out of our batch 5. It covers a very wide spectrum of different business models from B2B, B2B2C, as well as B2C. You will see startups from Switzerland to Iceland, Berlin to Boston, DC to LA, New York to San Francisco, before coming back to Silicon Valley. You will meet with one of the top 40 under 40 by Canadian Traveler. You will get to meet with winners and recipients of the HT&G Tech Ovation Award, as well as the Skift Corporate Travel Innovation Award. You will get to meet young professionals coming out of Berkeley, MIT, as well as Columbia Law. And most importantly, you're meeting with 13 talented startups who spent the last 12 weeks working with our corporate partners, entering either pilots or commercial deals. Speaking of the corporate partners, one of the newer initiatives that we are rolling out for our corporate partners is this engagement log. So beginning in July, we will start sending quarterly reports to all of our corporate partners, focusing on the number of introductions we did for them, the key objectives, and most importantly, the engagements, whether it is a proof of concept, pilot, investment, or sometimes quick wins. Because to me, when it comes to corporate innovation, the incremental gains are just as important as introducing something disruptive. And on that note, allow me to give the stage back to Amir.